We wish to clarify a point about the third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie sometimes questions the level of openness of her third eye.
Mm-hmm.
It is very open, and sometimes she questions why she doesn't see certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And she's beginning to understand this more, and we'd like to verify this and validate that she sees things when it's meant to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
There are times when even the most awakened psychics are not given certain pieces of information.
Mm-hmm.
This is intentional from a greater perspective. There's time for things to be revealed. So sometimes she does not see or perceive something, and this is intentional. And sometimes it's based on her frequency, perhaps, but she need not be concerned about the level of openness of her third eye. It continues to open at the exact perfect pace.
So it's like what we would call divine timing.
Absolutely.
Given too much information all at once, given it just when the person is ready.
And there are times where a person may not see something simply because it's not necessary, and it does no benefit, and things are not simply, it is divine timing. That is the most important thing to understand.
Is there any more information that wants to come through from this place and this being that we visited?
She's already aware that Eric and her shared a lifetime there together. It was the first thing that she saw when she saw this lifetime.
Is there any more information about this lifetime that they had together that she needs to see at the moment? I know that Eric wants to know if he is extraterrestrial. I wonder if there's any information from this place for him that she could assist him with.
He's much more than extraterrestrial, meaning that it's not simply that he's had lifetimes off of planets. He's being activated as well. And it is important that he comes to know himself, not simply through the eyes of Stephanie, but there's a reason why Stephanie does not see his roles. She can see and know that he is with her off of lifetimes, but she doesn't see often specifically what he does.
Specific information, yeah.
But she will be given more of that because he's ready to receive more of that, and he will begin to see himself. Sometimes we need to see ourselves through someone else until we are able to see it through ourselves. Both are okay.
Would he benefit from, say, a BQH session or another regression session to reconnect with these aspects of his multidimensional self.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, wonderful.
He's, as we were saying, there are different beings who are who are meant to help us activate these codes within us. And this experience that he had in his sleep recently was one such experience where another being, a non-terrestrial being, the plan was for this being to help him activate these codes. And the light represented the activation.
So he was being activated by
Yeah.
another being. What kind of being was he being activated?
It was a particularly small gray.
Okay.
It was a different kind of gray that the energy of this being is very funny.
A benevolent gray, I assume. Yeah.
It's playful. It's designed for a particular purpose. Very much to assist other beings. And they had a divine appointment, you might say, Eric, and this being. There was this sort of readiness. Again, we might say the divine timing. It was truly a divine appointment. And
I like that.
This was very special for Eric. And yes, a cosmic appointment.
And is this gray, is it a guide of sorts, or is it a relation to Eric in some way? Is it galactic or soul family type connection, or is that something that Eric needs to explore?
Stephanie is very tuned into this. It's okay. This is there is a connection here between this being and Eric, but they're not exactly soul family. They are of one essence. Stephanie does not. She understands what this means on one perspective, but there's a great deal that is left to be understood about this.
Is it a multi-dimensional aspect of Eric? A higher aspect of him? Or would that be too simple?
It is an aspect of him. We hold so many different aspects. It is a multi-dimensional aspect. It's another piece of him, yes.
Another expression.
Another expression, yes.
Is there any more information that wants to come through for Eric at this time about this activation or anything else?
Well, there's another one close by that has to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
It seems more in the background, this being that's connected to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like a supporting aspect, and it seems a bit more serious.
Okay.
It's holding its role it's taking its role not too seriously, but it's recognizing the significance and the importance of this event.
Should
and
we,
holding that.
should we connect to this being?
Yes.
Okay, so let's connect now in 3, 2, 1. You may use the vocal cords of Stephanie. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hi, I hear you're a being that is somewhat connected to Stephanie. Could you give us some more information about your connection and your purpose here?
I'm more meant to be in the background. I'm sort of like the silent observer.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a bit strange to be talking.
Okay. Is there any message you want to give Stephanie? I won't take you up too long. But is there anything you want to tell Stephanie?
You must trust in his awakening process.
Mm-hmm.
Is happening.
What kind of being are you?
We're a species of gray, but we're very small. And we're meant to be, well, we are, I guess you could say, activators. That's our role. We were really created for that purpose. Mostly, we do certain other things, but some might consider us like clones, kind of.
Okay.
We're biological entities, but we serve very specific purposes. And in this particular case, we help to activate codes. We work mostly in the backgrounds, like through dreams, and in the energetic. We don't do too much with humans and the direct physical.
Is that why it feels strange to be communicating with me?
A little bit.
Well, thank you so much for communicating with us. So you said you were activators. Does that mean that you were created to help activate humans in their awakening?
Yes.
Wow. Amazing. And can you tell me a little bit more? I mean, you mentioned that you do it through dreams and other. Is there any other ways that your kind help activate humans?
Sometimes we, like, they may be taken up to a ship, and we do some work that way. Stephanie's experienced this where she was on a ship and she saw like a projector screen of her frequency codes.
Mm-hmm.
She saw like a gold, all of it was gold.
Mm-hmm.
And we did some tinkering there. So we do some work that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the codes that are being sent to Earth, the energies, they're activated many different ways. We're not the only ones at all.
Okay.
It's just one way. And
yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming through and speaking to us.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's been difficult for you.
It's okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I feel it may be useful to call in Stephanie's higher self. If Stephanie's higher self is present and willing to speak.
Yes.
Yeah. Stephanie has some questions for this session today. I wondered if it would be okay to answer them.
Of course.
Is there anything she needs to know or do about her implant in her neck?
Just before you asked that, it began to pulsate a bit and do this. It sort of feels like a twitch almost, or like a pinching a little bit.
Is it being activated somehow?
Yes.
Is there anything she needs to know about what it's doing or the reasons why it's there?
She's still very curious about it, but there's a reason why it hasn't been up in her thoughts.
Why is that?
It's not something she needs to see today.
Okay.
But it is activated right now for a reason. It's connected to her consciousness.
The devices?
Yes.
In what way is it connected to her consciousness?
She can direct it. So before, and vice versa, it sort of alerts her at the same time. So before you asked the question about the implant, it began to activate and alert her that you were getting ready to ask about it. So at this particular time, not just this moment specifically, but at this particular point in her life, she can direct it. She has overtaken the consciousness of this implant.
Okay.
And the reason that it was intended for it to stay, because this part was not clear before, it was intended for it to stay because there was this intention all along. Even if there was not pure intent when it first went in, there was this understanding that she was able to overtake it and to direct it, and for it to become a tool of and a source of a resource for her.
Okay. So it's now assisting her in some way.
It's beginning to more and more and more because of this. And when she first experienced the awareness of this implant, she simultaneously had a dream where she was very powerfully using her voice. So she's now she knew all along that it had that potential to be used in this way.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Is there anything else that Stephanie needs to know about her implant right now?
She's going to learn more very soon.
Okay, wonderful. She also wants to know how to heal the cycle of pain between Eric and herself around anger and parenting. Eric continues to have a deep resistance to healing his inner childhood wounds, and this cycle seems to keep playing out between them.
She continues to choose the reality in which Eric is resistant to healing his inner wounds.
And does she have the option to choose a different reality?
Yes, she does. There's a particular point of focus that is causing her to continue to choose that reality.
Mm-hmm. What is that point of focus?
It is an inner wound with her own father and his relationship to anger and his own resistance to doing anything about it when she was younger.
Mm-hmm. Can she heal this wound today?
She's been healing it through EMDR. There's we're showing her something now.
Okay.
The thing I was being shown is that there's a particular pathway that's running the belief that I need you to change so I can be safe. I need you to change so I can be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And this was around my father's behaviors and his anger, feeling that both my mom and I had this belief system that we wanted the thing outside of us to change so we could be safe.
So that's where this inability to what I'm trying to say is this is the thing that Eric is trying to, or the thing that Eric is showing within you, the unhealed part of you that his behavior is revealing to you. So this is obviously the test, the gift that he is giving you in the inability to fix his own stuff. I just want to call in higher self again and see if there's any guidance that higher self can give Stephanie for this particular wound, and how she can move forward with this.
It is important that Stephanie take a step back from the situation. She's looking at the situation very close up. And she continues to be shown when she does plant medicine journeys, she's shown the bigger perspective of Eric, the greater perspective of him. And while on one perspective, it may be or could be true that he is afraid and expressing fear and resistance to doing the inner work.
Mm.
That's if you're looking at the situation close up.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take a step back, much like Stephanie's fear of singing, was only looking at it close up, and even the shame, that internalized belief within her soul was not the truest expression of who she is when you take a step back. So taking a step back and recognizing that there is an expression or a reality where Eric is not in fear, and where Stephanie herself is not in fear of anybody else's ability or resistance to change. She simply allows people to be as they are, which in itself, that ability to allow people to be as they are creates growth naturally. People grow from that space, as well as from the space of pressure, but it's different. They have more courage to grow under this pressure. It's not fearful. Right now, there's a fearful sort of pressure that's being created, and that is the childhood wound of Stephanie's.
And is that wound that that I need you to change so I can be safe, is that in turn creating resistance to Eric actually taking a step forward and facing his childhood wound?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's feeding his fear.
So
It is
yeah.
not emboldening him to do the healing work. It is literally feeding the fear that has already been within him when you look at it close up.
So that's causing more resistance.
Yes.
To the thing that, to the goal
yes.
of where this needs to go. Okay, is there anything else that we can do here to help with the father wound that I need you to change so I can be safe? Is there any more healing that can be done with this today to help Stephanie take that step back? So Stephanie's father is RH negative blood group. I'm wondering if there's any information that can come through about that, and especially about how children of this blood group are affected.
Each person chooses their blood type for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unique to each person's purpose or intention on Earth. For some, it simply isn't necessary. And some of it has to do with the amount of extraterrestrial DNA that they wish to pull in through their blood. For others, they have a different encodement in their blood, in their DNA, and that they interact with each other in very specific ways. Parents with the Rh negative blood type can help to activate their children. Mm, this is done genetically, but as well as through their energetic presence.
So is
It
it?
was
Oh,
it
sorry.
was important to Stephanie to have someone close to her, and particularly a parent who was Rh negative, but it was not necessary for Stephanie specifically to carry this blood type. She has a different encodement within her DNA structure, and she needed a different blood type. And being that Rh negative is quite connected to reptilian blood, she needed to not carry the reptilian blood specifically. But it was important to her to have extraterrestrial blood within her, and closely connected to her genetically.
Okay. Wonderful. So, touching on the hybrid, myself and Stephanie have become aware of the dual soul connection hybrid program. Is there any information that can come through about this today?
Mm. She feels herself being spliced right now.
Oh.
She feels from her right side as if she's being pulled apart.
Okay.
Clearly giving her a very clear sentient experience of the dual soul.
Mm.
These dual souls are meant to hold a very, very close connection to their extraterrestrial experiences. That's a very strong purpose or intention for the creation of dual souls. Anyone who feels an absolutely incredibly strong seems like a not enough of a good word, a strong, it's not a strong enough word to describe the connection and the ability to connect with extraterrestrial presence. Beings, Stephanie often says that she remembers her extraterrestrial experiences even more so than, it's not exactly more so. She says more so, but it's really just her way of expressing that it's so strong in her that she can connect to extraterrestrial experiences, and she gravitates towards that more. This is not the same thing as what some starseeds describe as not wanting to be on Earth.
Okay.
There's a difference between trying to escape this reality and being deeply, deeply in tune and connected with the extraterrestrial lifetimes that a person has held. People who often have this experience are indeed twins, dual souls.
Wonderful, thank you.
And this does become activated over time.
So this is something that you may develop more over time.
Develop the remembrance of.
Okay.
It's something that was already predetermined. We're not going to rule out the possibility that it can be developed later, but this is another thing altogether.
And is there any connection with this and the twin flame connection?
This is very, very complex.
Okay. You can make it very simple and just say there's a connection, or you can say
there is.
Okay.
There is a connection, and it's also very, very different. It's not that a dual soul is a twin soul, as both of you are already understanding. They are different things, but yes, this would be a whole entire regression by itself.
Okay. That's fine. We don't need to get too deep into that today. We can maybe explore that another time.
Yes.
But thank you. Stephanie wonders if there's any more information around her connection to the Greys. Is there any more information that she can know about at this time about her connection? So she wonders if she's programming her mind around lack consciousness. Is there anything that needs deeper reharmonization around the old or current feelings of lack?
The use of money for control has been going on for a long time, and she's taken on a particular role for helping to, as she puts it, reharmonize the energy of abundance and to bring it back into a state of abundance. So while some very, very quickly and easily obtain money, she's choosing to take on a greater level of the lack consciousness. Everybody takes it on at different levels for different reasons, and they're all very significant and important. It's important for people to take on the lighter aspects so that they can very quickly and easily obtain money. That's important as well, because it shows the possibility of financial abundance. But she's desires to harmonize to true abundance, true wealth, which is not specific to money itself. It is only one aspect of it. Because of that, it will take a little bit more time and a greater effort and focused attention to reharmonize that within her state of being. So she's doing that work, and it is important that she continue it. She's doing very well.
Good. So is this something that was predetermined, this lack consciousness? Is this something that was predetermined for Stephanie in this lifetime?
Yes, she specifically chose people and circumstances that would mirror that back to her, such as some of her father's behaviors and beliefs, as well as her mother's, as well as her grandmother, who was in an extreme state of lack from the war. She took on those experiences with a great deal of purpose. She does not desire to continue living in a world with, she intends to when we speak of reharmonizing around abundance, in places where they are in harmony with a true state of abundance, there is no money.
Okay.
There is abundance not from an external place. and an external source. It is within.
Mm.
But because Earth will continue to have money for now, for a time, it is important to be resourced so that she can do what she needs to do here. And she's working to heal and balance the state of consciousness around money.
Okay.
Yes.
So is there anything else that we need to do here today on this?
Just to let her know to keep doing what she's doing. It's having an effect.
Is there any guidance for the collective at the moment on these 2112 solstice energies that we're experiencing?
It's important that people breathe in this energy.
Yeah.
So to simply sit, straighten the spine, take a deep breath in, and to truly feel as if when you're breathing in through the nostrils, you can imagine these light codes coming in through the nostrils up into the brain. They reach the pineal gland. They go through both hemispheres of the brain and into the pituitary and back down through the top of the spinal cord, all the way down through the spinal column. And you can send that energy down into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And you can cycle that back up through the body once again. And continue to create this vortex of energy within your physical vessel. It's important that you recognize that your physical body is a transmitter. And imagine that each person is a transmitter. And when you connect those energies, and you can imagine that you're connecting your energy, your neurotransmitter self to all the other neurotransmitters on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And by connecting up that energy, even if the other beings aren't consciously connecting to the other neurotransmitters, you are. Just imagine that you are. Doesn't matter what they're doing. And by doing this, you anchor in the frequencies that are coming in. They're already here, and they're coming in this moment. They're within you, so when you breathe them in, the ones that are coming in, you breathe it in, and you're activating the ones that are already seated within you.
Mm.
This is the most important work that you can do today. It will only take 5 minutes. You can take as long as you want, or even just 3 breaths with this focus awareness.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that information. Should we, both myself and Stephanie, share this information?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Do you have any guidance for the collective as we shift into 2020?
Focused vision. Many people are saying 2020 vision. That's another way of saying focused vision, or focused vision is another way of saying 2020, however we'd like to say it. Many people have been doing the work of seeing things more clearly, discerning the truth, and clearing out old illusions. Focused vision is focusing on what you know to be true, the deepest truth. And instead of loosely holding that vision by focusing intently on that, it becomes deeply embedded into the consciousness not only of your own self, but in the reality that you experience around you. It's not simply focusing on it with the mind, but it's truly stepping into that experience. It's merging with the vibration and the energy of it. So what is it that you want to create or to experience? You must focus on it with all of your energy and intention and attention. And what it is that you focus on as we move into this new cycle, you will create with greater magnitude and amplification. So if you focus on something negative that you do not wish to experience, it will be magnified even more as we move into this new phase. And the same can be said for something positive that you wish to experience. It will be amplified at greater speed and magnitude.
Amazing. Thank you. Finally, I wonder if there's any guidance for the facilitator of today's session.
You are love. And you are being so beautifully encapsulated in this energy of love right at this moment. You are being very, very gently and lovingly guided. There are some big shifts coming for you. It seems as though there will be some people coming into your life who will be an integral part of this next phase of expansion for you. It is a very, very crucial piece for many twin flames at this time, and many people on Earth, generally speaking, to do the shadow work, the things that have been hidden, for them to come to light. This is another very key piece of 2020, is things coming to light that have been hidden. This is going to be happening in great, great measure. And it's very important for twin souls as you do that work, you heal the other as well.
Thank you. Thank you for all that information.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other physical healing that needs to take place today, or is there anything else in this session that needs to be worked on or come through?
Not at this time.
Okay.
We're complete.
Wonderful.